And lastly for today, I'm just going to have a look at the global indices, starting off here with the Dow Jones. And overall, really nice monthly bullish uptrend, nice uptrend, high lows, high highs, weekly uptrend, daily uptrend. A little bit overextended, not extremely overextended, but certainly if there was a retracement on the monthly time frame back into these previous highs, to test it for support, that would be perfectly acceptable. The weekly is only a little bit overextended. It's within its normal kind of distances. So there's nothing here that indicates that this needs to retrace or that it has to correct. And so I'll keep an eye on this. I'll be looking for some price to produce nice bullish candles within these moving averages and then to head on higher. But I am noting a little bit of bearish divergence creeping in on the RSI, and I do know that at some point in this area above, it'll make sense to have a deeper retracement or correction on a higher time frame. So a little bit of caution there, certainly even on the lower time frames as well. But going across the S&P 500, this one is more overextended, distance away from the moving averages on the monthly, and certainly in a good area to do a nice turnaround and to do a nice retracement back down to test these previous highs. Again, within normal distance from the moving averages on the weekly, that's not a problem, and certainly seeing divergence creeping in on both the RSI and MACD. So it just means that I'm incredibly cautious with any opportunities here. Price action is effectively starting to become exhausted and is overdue for a deeper monthly retracement. So I'll just exercise some caution there. Then looking at Nasdaq, this one again clearly overextended away on the monthly, a little bit as well on the weekly. But the MACD and RSI here not looking as bearish. All right, so again, the Nasdaq being the more aggressive of the lot, certainly showing a lot of growth. Again, I'll be looking to see price come back into these previous highs. If it then subsequently comes down and breaks any of these lows, then I will assume that the weekly is likely to do a retracement. So I'm going to be very cautious on upcoming trades here, but there's no doubt that we're still in a bull market and the market is still bullish. So I'm going to be leaning towards buying opportunities instead of anything else. Looking at the mini Russell, what I do like about this is it has broken through recent resistance on that weekly time frame. It's come back and produced a bullish candle here, so it's a really nice opportunity, especially if price breaks the high of this weekly candle. And I can set an alert up to do that, just to draw my attention to it. But that would be some potential buying opportunities for me to start looking at, even on the lower time frames, as price then heads up towards these previous highs. So that is showing some potential to climb a little bit higher. The FTSE itself as well. The FTSE not overextended at all on a monthly basis. Also coming up into recent resistance, but also producing a bullish candle. So again, if I get a break above the high of that, my expectation is to see it go a little bit higher. Then having a look at the Germany 30, the DAX. Very nice, strong bullish candle last week. Some nice gapping up towards the end of the week, and coming into previous highs, so I'm aware of that. But really, overall, this is very bullish. Okay, so there's no doubt for me at this point in time that this is looking nice and bullish, especially if it starts to break through that historical resistance. Then I'll be looking for buying opportunities, as that should then become free of that level of resistance. So again, I'll be monitoring on a daily basis. And then also the Nikkei, for example, here, nice bullish candle on a weekly basis, looks really good. Although it had a daily downtrend, it looks very keen to break these previous highs. And it still has a little bit of room to go on a monthly basis before it hits those historical highs. So again, this is showing an intention to come up and at least test those highs. And so for the last three, in fact four if I include the Russell, a little bit lagging, but they are overall producing a lot. They're showing a lot of intent to climb higher, and then comparing that to the US indices, where we're starting to enter that area of exhaustion. So I'm going to exercise more caution, which means either not taking trades or reducing my risk per trade, or potentially keeping an eye on that 4-hour time frame. Should the 4 hours start to go into a downtrend, then it's reasonable to assume that that daily is going to start to head lower. So just exercising caution, keeping an eye on those momentum indicators.